let's kill the other guy. Oh, again. And again. There you go. Now we have one. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Welcome back, guys, to a new Roblox Studio tutorial. So, one day I just decided to make a new game idea tutorial thingy-majingy, and it's basically how to make a murder mystery game. Now, this is pretty simple because I already made round system tutorials. I've made like a ton of round system tutorials, so I decided to make, oh, why not make a, murder mystery type of round system, a murder mystery type of game. Actually, it's going to be more of a series, so like a tutorial series, how to make a murder mystery game. Not really like a round system tutorial, but it is going to implement a round system, but obviously we will modify it. So now obviously murder mystery is a pretty popular game, so that's why I decided to make this. But yeah, I will do other types of games, of course, because I've heard you guys really wanted me to make doors and those type of games, simulator games also. I did make one simulator game tutorial. It's pretty old, but I am looking forward to make a doors tutorial, so stay tuned for that. But it's gonna be pretty complicated though, I'm not gonna lie. The closest thing I made is like a horror jump scare tutorial. But anyways, let's get started to the tutorial. So for a murder mystery game, we need a round system. Now we're gonna use a base round system just for this tutorial. Now you can use the voting system one. Right now I'm going to just use the basic smart round system one, which is a bit older. Not older, but it's more basic. So smart rounds, I think this is the one. Alright. Now I might implement the round system further down the line, but it is going to be the same thing. So if you want to do the voting system one, so just make sure you put everything here. I should have yeah, okay, never mind. It should be good, actually. Put this in starter server script service. Ungroup in replicated storage. Ungroup. In starter GUI. Ungroup. So, I do want to let you guys know that it is the round system, like the voting round system and this round system model are essentially the same thing. And what you want to do, the script that you want to implement is essentially the same thing, because all you have to do right now, so this is the, let's see, I don't know what this is. Okay, put these in teams. So this is the main round script. It should be, so let's call this the main round script so you guys know what I'm referring to. So the main round script includes like the round function and the in-round change event. So this is what we will be manipulating. I'll let you know down, I'll let you know, like I'm gonna show you in the video, but this is what you would need. This is also of course in voting system model 2. It's in the main round script, so it is going to be the same thing. It's going to have the same like core fundamental scripts, so you will be able to make it work with the other models as well. In this case, it's a very simple one. It's a simple round system, but smart. So whenever all it does is really ends the round whenever there's 0 players left, but it's not really necessary because we're going to be scripting it anyways, going to be modifying the scripts. Anyways, so we have this stuff. We have a lobby spawn. We don't have a map spawn for some reason. Oh no, we have, this is the map spawn. So let's actually make a map. So this does not have a voting system, so it's going to be only one map. But of course, I might, like, maybe in a second video, I'll show you how you can actually do it in a voting system, round system, if that makes any sense. Voting system, a round system with the voting system implemented, I guess you could say that. So let's say this is our map. This is kind of boring, of course. Let's add a map. Let's actually make a map right now, or search up, so like a map, a Roblox, like a classic Roblox map, crossroads, whatever. Got our classic crossroads map, and map spawn right here. For now, obviously, it's going to be more of a simple tutorial, so we're not going to be worrying about this for now. Right now, we're going to be worrying about how to actually make the murder mystery system actually work. So now we got all our round system stuff done. Let's actually work on the actual script that gives players roles such as murderer, sheriff, and innocent. So I don't know what. Oh, this is a leader set. So what you want to do actually here. So in the script where it says game.player.player added, we want to add a value inside the player, which displays the player's role in a round. So let's say local role equal instance.new string value role.name equals role.value equals you don't really have to make this part. The value will be like nothing anyways. Role.parent equals player. So this will make us know what role the player is during a round. For example, if he is a murderer, if he is a sheriff, if he is an innocent, etc. And that's very necessary for our murder mystery game. So in rapidly storage, let's make a module script. Now you don't really need it, but it is going to be more simple. It is going to be more organized, I should say, because you might need more functions in this. So let's call this murder mystery system, because we will have some functions in it. You could add the functions inside like this main round script, but I just want it to be more organized, so I'm gonna add it here. Right, so let's call this mm2 or murder mystery module system mm system. Let's call it mm system murder mystery system. All right, so in this module, let's make a function. The function system dot choose roles. Now, what does this do? This is a function. What I want to do is whenever we call this function, right? So we're just making a function. We didn't call it, but we want to call this whenever a round starts, and it basically chooses the roles for all the players. So let's get the players that are playing now. You know what? Why not? Let's do so. Local players equals game get service players. So this gets all the players in the game. Players. Let's see. Okay, and let's see. We want to see how many players there are in the game. So local. Let's see. Local players. Actually. Okay. So local, we want to make a table with all the players' names. So local players in game, let's call it players in game, equals to a table. For I, P in pairs, players, get children. Do, and table insert, players in game, and then P dot name. So we just insert the player's name in this table, and we want to use this table to pick the murderer and the sheriff and the innocents. Well, we're only going to be picking the sheriff and the murderer, and the rest is going to be innocent. So that's how we're going to make it work. All right, good. So first of all, we want to check how many players that there are in the game. So if the number of players in game is greater or equal to 0, then else. I want to do like return not enough players. That's going to be just a message. Not enough players. All right. Okay, so if there's more than 3 players in the game, perfect. That's good. You might also make another check like for the amount of players in the game in the main round script anyways, but whatever. So first of all, so let's make a variable for the murderer. So this is going to be the murderer and local sheriff. I think that's how you spell it. All right, the local murderer. What is the murderer? So murderer equals players in game. So you want to choose a random player from this table, because we have all the players in this table, all the players' names in this table. You want to choose a random player to be a murderer. So do square brackets, and then we choose a random index from this table, so math at random, from 1 to the amount of players in game. And yeah, so now this is the murderer. We will then remove that murderer from the table because we already chosen it, right? So table at remove, players in game, and I think so players in game, and then the second parameter is going to be the position. Since we don't know the position, the index of the player, we can do table.find players in game and murderer. So this will give the index of the murderer inside this table, which is the players in game. So now we remove the murderer from the table, we can then choose the sheriff. So obviously we don't want to choose the same person as a murderer and a sheriff. So that's why we want to remove the player from the from the table. Okay, so sheriff. So sheriff equals, it's literally the same exact thing. So copy and paste this. Now obviously this table doesn't have the murderer in it anymore, so we can choose a sheriff, and then you do the same exact thing here. Remove it from the table, except in this case you want to remove the sheriff, and I think that's it. Table remove players in game, table behind players in game, sheriff. All right. Now what we want to do now is then we can manipulate the role. So remember this role value we have, we obviously want to manipulate it, so we want to set it to the player's role. So for the murderer obviously is set to the player's name, so the murderer is the player's name, not the actual player. So you want to go to players and then find the player in the game. So find first child murderer, and then the player. So players, find a child murderer, wait for child, role that value equals murderer. So this role is set to murderer, the player's role is set to murderer, and then same thing for the sheriff. In this case, let's actually make this a bit more easy to see. So players find for child sheriff, the player's name, favorite child role that value equals sheriff. Pretty sure that's how you spell sheriff. Yeah. Okay, we're done. Now we set the roles. I think we can just do like return success or something. Not exactly necessary. Return success. Okay, we're done. We can also add stuff like we also want to give the players their weapons, like the gun and the knife. But for now, let's leave it like that so we can work on something else. So now we have this. We gave the player the roles. All right. Okay, and one more. Oh, of course, we want to set everyone else as innocent too. So for I, P in pairs again, in pairs, players in game, 2. We could make comments just so it's more easy to read. So players, find first child, P, so player name. Oh, let's call it player name, so because it's player name. Wait for child. Role that value equals. So everyone else will be innocent. That's all we did. We also have to call the function too. So system choose roles. We want to call this in the main round script. So when the round changes, when it's true, so when a round just starts, we can just put this anywhere. So actually what we could do is put this at the end of the for loop, so we can put it here. Before anything, obviously we need to get the module, the murder mystery system module. So we can do local murder mystery module equals game, or require game.replicate store.murder mystery system. So we got this module right here because we need to require it first so we can actually access it, and then we can go to murder mystery model that choose roles, and that's it. We could also do actually maybe instead of this, whatever. Let's do local error message, local message equals, just so we can get an error message in case so if it's not enough players or if it's success, like these two. What you could do instead of putting it in a change event, we could actually put this in this round function right here. So for I round length. So we can just do here local message. In case there's not enough players, we can probably break. But for now, we don't really need to worry about it too much. Because after all, it's gonna break if it's like 0 players anyways. Or we can make another if statement if it's less than 3 players. But whatever. So now we can actually test it because we call the function. Let's see how this works. Okay, so the round has just started. We can check our players here. And we're gonna see what roles each of us have. So for example, I have innocent. Oops. This guy is a murderer, and player 3 is the sheriff. But yeah, obviously it's not gonna work or anything because we just gave the players the roles, but we never actually told the script how it works. So for example, if there's no more murderer, obviously the innocents win, and obviously if there's no more innocents, the murderer wins, right? Or if time runs out, the innocents would win if there's at least one innocent or sheriff alive. So this is what we want to tell the script, and we can easily script this in the main round script in the round function. This setup. So what we can do, we'll keep this here. We'll keep this here. Now this is where the countdown starts when the round starts. Just so you guys aren't too confused. So this is when the round is true. When the round starts, we set the value of the in round equals to true. We choose roles for the players, and then we start the countdown. So this is where we want to add the if statements. We want to check how many innocents left, whether or not the murderer is still alive. So we did use, let's actually make this, let's compress this a bit so it's not so big. And okay, there we go. So we did have a playing table. This adds all the players that are playing in this table, and from that we can actually check the innocents, the sheriffs, and the murderer, right? So we can check if they're alive or not. And how we can do this, obviously this is reset every second, and it only adds the players that are playing currently. So if a player dies, they won't be in this table. So that's how we can actually check whether or not the murderer is still alive, any innocents are alive, any sheriffs are alive. So what we can do is make some variables. So this is going to be, we're going to make 2 bool variables. One is murderer alive. Self-explanatory. This is either true or false. If it's true, that means the murderer is alive. If it's false, that means the murderer isn't alive. So by default, we want to put it to false. And local non-innocents alive. Innocents alive. False. So this is either if there's at least one innocent, or actually not innocents, we should call it non-murderers. So not non-innocent. What? Wait, I was confused. I meant non-murderers. Sorry, non-murderer. That makes no sense. Let's realize non-murderers alive. So non-murderers is either innocent or sheriff. If at least one of them are alive. If there's at least one of them alive, that means the game still has to continue until there's like no more non-murderers alive, right? And that's when the murderer can win. And yeah, that's pretty simple. Okay, and then let's just do murderer. Murderer. This is gonna be set to the actual murderer player or the murderer name. Okay, so what I want to do is actually go through this table. We're gonna for loop. We're gonna make a for loop. We're gonna loop through this table, and we're gonna check whether or not there's a murderer alive and innocents alive. So what we can do is for I player in round in pairs playing. So this is the table where all the players, the player names are in that are playing in a round. And we can do so if or we can do if game.players find first child player in round dot role, or yeah, I can do dot role or wait for child role. Wait for child to roll the value equals murderer. So this is how we can check. We use the role to check whether or not they're a murderer. We can check the role. Then if they're a murderer, then murderer alive equals true. That means the murderer is still in the round. Else if game.players, actually let's copy and paste this. There's no point. Let's copy and paste this. So if they're not a murderer, meaning they're either a sheriff. If they're not a murderer, so we can just do like this. symbol. Then non-innocent, or not non-innocent, non-murderers alive equals true, meaning there's players that the murderer still needs to kill, and so we continue this countdown. Okay, pretty simple. And then we can set the murderer to this. So murderer equals game players, find first child, player. So we can set the murderer so we can know who the murderer is from their name. Okay, so now we have this. This is good. Now we can actually see what the status of the round is. There is also some other stuff. So if player equals 1, let's actually erase this. Erase this part. We don't need this because this was for something else. Okay. If player equals 0, if number of playing is equals to 0, let's keep that just in case there's something that goes wrong. Now we're gonna use 2 if statements. One for the murderer, if the murderer is gonna win. One for the innocents, if the innocents are gonna win. So if the murderer is gonna win, how does the murderer win? So the murderer wins if there are no innocents or no sheriffs left alive in the round, and the murderer is still alive, of course, at the end when they kill everyone else before the countdown, though, obviously. So if murderer alive, so if murderer is alive equals to true, and non-murderers alive equals false, then we can actually copy this section right here. We change the status to the murderer has won. The murderer has won. And then break. Oh, I forgot to break, so make sure you break. And yeah. Sorry, oops. Put 2 equal signs here. So, pretty self-explanatory. If the murderer is still alive and there's no non-murderers alive left, then the murderer has won. And then we can copy and paste this. So in this case, we want to check if the innocents can win. So the innocents can win if the murderer died or the murderer has run out of time. So we'll do if murderer alive equals false and non-murderers alive equals true, then, and now this is 1. Let's put this in 2 brackets. Now this is only 1 if statement, right? But the innocents can win on another case too, and it is if they run out of time, if the murderer run out of time, right? So what we can do is, or, so we put this in brackets, or non-murderers alive equals true and I equals 0, meaning the countdown has gone to 0 because I is the actual I is the index of the for loop right here. So this is the for loop right here, or not intermission, round length. So this is the countdown right here. It goes to down to 0. So if the murderer run out of time, then the innocents win. If there's innocents alive, of course. And yeah, so it's either this case or this case, and the innocents has won. So in the innocents of one, let's put a caps because why not? Okay, let's see. So we can actually test this again. And I think we're done though. Now what we can add actually is we can add just weapons. So let's add revolver. Make sure you don't add viruses, of course. Revolver, this has 40%. That's 30. Murder mystery. Let's add a murder mystery 2 revolver. Make sure this has no strips though. Make sure this has no strips. So let's put this in replicated storage, and let's add a murderer knife. Murderer. Mad murderer. Let's add this knife. So these are 2. Now make sure I'm pretty sure these are not viruses because they're like very popular. So hopefully they're not viruses, but be careful. Be careful of viruses when you're inserting random items to toolbox. But these are going to be tools. So this is going to be for the murderer, of course, and this revolver is going to be for the sheriff. So let's go back to our murder mystery system module, And when we set the roles for the murderer and sheriff, we want to add these items into their backpack. So what we can do is local knife clone equal game.replicated store.knife clone dot parent equals murderer dot not murder, sorry. Okay, let's see, player that found for child murderer equals, oh, we can add, you can do the player murderer player. So what we can do actually, local, should we add a variable? Now let's, yeah, equals, let's do players found child murderer dot back. Okay, this is the knife clone. And for the sheriff clone, I mean the revolver clone, local gun clone, game.replicated sword dot revolver clone, gun clone dot parent equals player child sheriff dot backpack. What I think is a good idea is go all the way down here. Let's add like a weight 2 here, and let's also put this down here after the weight, because maybe you don't really want to give the weapons automatically, like off the start or off the bat. And if they do, actually no, it's not gonna be big of a deal. Let's give them the revolvers, let's give them the weapons off the bat. If you do want to delay, you could do a wait, but make sure you put like a spawn function around this function, or if that makes sense. Yeah, let's put like do spawn function if you do want to add a wait, unless you want like there to be like a delay with the countdown too. So if you add a wait, there will probably be a delay before this countdown starts, so just keep that in mind. So if you want to add a wait, there will be a delay. Once we give the weapons to the players, we also want to, of course, remove them when the round ends. So what we can do is go to the if round equals false. So if round equals true, else. This is when the game ends. We want to remove all the items in the player's inventory. So once we get the humanoid, let's get the humanoid. Local human equals car wait for child humanoid. All right. Let's do human.unequip tools. So we can unequip the tools for all the players. Well, it's only going to be for the sheriff and murderer. And then we can just do player.backpack clear all. All right, so we got the humanoid. We unequipped all the tools for each player, and then we cleared all the tools in the player's backpack. So we removed all the tools in the player's backpack after we unequipped them. So you won't have any problems when the round ends. All the players' items will get destroyed. So we're in a round, as you can see. Well, not yet, but soon enough. So let's test this out. So right now I think I'm innocent. Let's go to the murderer. So this is a murderer because we have the knife. Let's see. I have these wacky throwing knives because the last knife I used was broken. I couldn't find any good knives. So as you can see, we won. We're the murderer. We won because we killed all the players. So this is for the murderer. Let's see if the innocents can win. So let's actually wait for the next round. Okay, so this is a sure. I'm not sure if this gun works. This is also a free model, so let's not use this. So this is the murderer. Let's say we die. So let's actually, it's pretty laggy. Let's say we die, we reset ourselves. And I'll say the innocents have won. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how the system goes. Let's actually test this one more time. Third time's a charm, as they say. So let's see. Let's wait for another round and let's see if this works 100%. So let's go to my awesome murderer knives. So as you can see, let's kill the other guy. Oh, again. Boom again. There you go. Now we have one. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, this tutorial. Of course, this is going to be a series, so this is going to be only a part 1. A lot more we have to add in this game tutorial. But yeah, what do you guys think of this tutorial? Should I continue it? Should I not? Leave your suggestions in the comments below. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I hope you enjoyed. If you want, you can join our Discord server. We have some, we just have some events there. Not really events. We will be making new video ideas soon, like competitions and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. These new events, we will be adding them soon. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this. Like and subscribe, most importantly. I'll see you guys in the next one.